Speaking of not getting paid enough, you are working with a company, Sports Illustrated, that was in the news this past week for laying off a huge percentage of the staff. Looking at what's happened and still being with the company, what's your takeaway from what happened?
I mean, we are right in the middle of this right now, and so I don't have a ton of information yet on like the full strategy going forward. You know, I've been at Sports Illustrated since 1996. I decided as a kid, after subscribing to it for years, that I wanted to write for Sports Illustrated, and I was actually able to achieve that dream. So like, to me, the name Sports Illustrated means more than a job. And I just want to see Sports Illustrated make it. And so last Thursday, when the layoffs happened, was truly terrible for the institution and for a lot of my friends and really talented people who lost their jobs. And so that part has been really difficult. And I want to do cool journalism. I really want to do that with Sports Illustrated, so I hope that can happen. But you might have to check with me again in a few weeks, just because I'll have more information by then. You know, it's just modern media, as you know, is unpredictable. It's a difficult business environment. And I just want to see Sports Illustrated be in a position where, you know, it's been around for 65 years. It has this amazing reputation. And I want that to continue. And we still do have some really, really talented people there. And so, you know, we'll see where it goes from here.
When you see what you guys have lost, what would you say is the biggest change with like what you have now versus what you had a week ago?
We lost some young, really promising talents who I think are going to go on to do really good things at other outlets now. But that's a huge stress for them early on in their career to have to deal with, you know? And so I really do, you know, I've seen other places have big layoffs, you know, ESPN and others, and I just assume, oh, that person's really talented, they'll latch on somewhere and be able to go on. But what I learned was there are no guarantees in this business, and some really talented people have to sort of grind and grind to try and find a place to work again. So, you know, it's something where I hope this is the low point for Sports Illustrated, and that we can put ourselves in a position where not only are we doing talented, you know, or really good work with talented people, but, you know, the business side is sustainable. You mentioned that you grew up wanting to work for Sports Illustrated, and it's sort of this, you know, the name in bright lights, but it's also a very low point for the company. In what way did what happened affect, in what way did what happened lose some of its luster? You know, like, it's just really hard to, you know, and this wasn't actually the only layoffs we've had. You know, every year that we've been kind of cutting and cutting and cutting. And so depth of talent goes down, you know, where, you know, you may not have, you know, 3 or 4 people in a particular sport now who are really good at what they do. It may be 1 or 2. And so I think that's hard. I think, you know, and I'm not a business expert, right? You know, I do what I do. And I try to have an understanding of the media situation and who might have a good strategy. I think everyone's curious to see what the Athletic's doing.
Right.
Because,
and how that's sustainable going
right, because if it is, and, you know, their strategy is pretty straightforward, you know, subscription service, but we aren't going to have ads. We're not going to have clickbait stories. And they have a lot of VC money, but then the question is, once the VC money's not there, will that business model be sustainable? And if it is, then I think you'll see other publications following that.